Hey guys, welcome back. We're back outside today and it is the beginning of November and it is time for some bulb planting. I have a whole bunch of bulbs that I want to get in the ground. This is going to take a couple of days. This year I bought most of my bulbs from colorblends.com. And for the front yard, which is what we're in right now, I want to plant this Aladdin's carpet mix along the strip that's near the road. I used these in the backyard a few years ago and it wasn't exactly the right application, but I really like these. On the front strip right now, there's just lawn, there's just sod, and eventually I'm going to replace that. I do think eventually I want to put wildflowers there. But for now, I wanted to do the Aladdin's carpet mix because it has a bunch of different stuff in it. I'll put it up on the screen what is in the mix, but it has different tulips, different, I think crocus as well, and things that bloom at different times. And for me, it gives them a little bit more of a natural appearance. So I wanted to put it in this front strip. Now I'm looking at this bag and I'm wondering if I didn't buy quite enough to do both sides. We'll see. There's 200 bulbs in this bag, which seems like a lot, but it's a pretty decent area that I have to cover. And this time I want to plant them a little bit closer together, a little bit thicker. Last time when I got these, I'm remembering, I think I got the bag of 500 last time, which was a lot. But I scattered them kind of all over the place and it didn't give quite the effect that I wanted. So this time I want to plant them a little bit denser. So I might only end up using these on the one side of the lawn. We'll see. We'll see how far I want to take it and how much coverage we get. All right, let me go get my auger so that we can get started. The directions on the bag say to plant them 3 inches apart. That's about 10 to 11 per square foot, and to plant them 4 inches deep. This is mixed colors. The bloom time is early to mid late, and they get anywhere from 4 to 12 inches high. So much more low growing, almost ground cover like. It looks really cute though. I can't wait till next spring. So what I'm going to do, like I said, there's 200 bulbs in here. I'm not going to dig 200 holes. I think my plan is going to be, I'm just going to dig a couple of different groupings and I'm going to put maybe, let's say maybe 2 or 3, maybe even 4, depending on the size of the bulbs per hole, and try to make it look, I don't know, a little bit more wild, a little bit more natural. I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm 100% just winging it, but that's going to be the plan of action. Dig different groupings and put a few bulbs in holes. That's not something I've done before. I tend to put just one bulb per hole, but I think with this one, it'll be more effective if I group them together more. So I'm going to start near the crabapple that we recently planted, but I'm going to leave that hole alone. And we're just going to go straight into the sod. Okay, let's give my poor hand a break and put some bulbs in the ground and see what it looks like in terms of numbers and density. Okay, I have no idea which bulbs correspond to which type of plant. Some are obviously bigger than others. For example, I'm pretty sure this is a tulip bulb, but I don't know what these others are. So that's going to be some of the fun, is I'm also going to be seeing what comes up where in the spring. So for a couple of these smaller bulbs, I'm honestly just gonna toss them in. There'll be a few holes that I think I'll just plant one of the bigger bulbs just for some variety. And when you're planting bulbs, typically you wanna plant them with this root side facing down into the hole. I'm going to more or less try and do that, but in all honesty, even if you plant them sideways or something like that, the bulb will orient itself and will grow upward. It just is more efficient if you actually plant it with the root side facing down into the soil. But since there's so many of them and I'm going to be putting a bunch in the holes, I'm sure some of them are going to end up a little bit lopsided. You know, I checked the weather before I came out here and it said no rain, just very cloudy. I look up at the sky, looks like rain to me, but okay. Phone says no rain. It's definitely drizzling, just a little bit. So it's not completely wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was more right. Okay, I changed my mind. I stopped a little earlier on the other side than I initially said. I didn't go all the way up to the oak tree. I just went up to the start of the oak tree soft landing garden bed. I decided I do want to put some bulbs on this side of the strip. It's a small area, but it was bugging me that they wouldn't be symmetrical, that they wouldn't look alike. So that actually ended up working out. I used all of the Aladdin's mix. I just pulled out one or two from the other side that already had, 3 or 4 in the holes to fill up the last 2 holes. And that's it. And it is still raining out here. Can't trust the forecast. Okay, we have the fertilizer and the compost in, and now I'm just gonna cover up these holes and get inside because I am not about being outside being cold and wet. I don't love nature that much, so I'm gonna cover all this up and then I'm going to head inside. I'm not worried about the sod. It'll fill back in. The bulbs will grow right through the sod, and the sod will be fine come spring, even though it's going to look a little messy right now. It'll all fill itself back in. Okay, everyone, it's a new day. It's no longer raining, but it is definitely windy and it is definitely colder than I typically like for my blood, but the mission has remained the same. We need to get more bulbs in the ground. Oh my gosh, guys, winter is coming. I am not a winter baby. This is crazy. So I have a couple of hours before work. I want to get some more bulbs in the ground. Right here, I have some snowdrops, and these are crocus. These all come up very early. I want to put some of these, I think, under the oak tree and maybe in this front garden bed. I wanted to put some under the Japanese maple, but you can see it has its beautiful purple fall foliage. So I'm probably going to leave it alone, but I'll probably scatter some around the sedum. These are very small, but they're so dainty and cute, and they come up really early. So by the time the rest of the foliage starts growing in and blocking out their sun, they're done growing. So let me get right to this. I need to put on a hat and some gloves because, like I said, I am definitely a little bit cold. I think I want to put these closer to the tree, kind of swooping this way. And the snowdrops, they say plant 3 inches apart. You could do 9 to 10 per square feet, and they want to be about 3 inches deep. And for the crocus, which these are going to bloom, it's a mixture. White, soft yellow, lavender pink, not just the purple crocus that we're all used to seeing. These similar, plant 2 inches apart. You can plant these pretty densely, actually, 8 to 22 per square feet, and they want to be planted 3 inches deep. So I'm going to do the same thing like I did the other day. I'm honestly just going to dig a bunch of holes, throw a bunch of them in together, and take it from there. Okay, so now we're on the other side of the front lawn, and I have to say, I laugh all the time. Part of my job at the hospital is being efficient. I mean, that's just part of what I have to do. I am so not an efficient gardener. It's crazy. I realized, so if you guys saw one of the last videos, I had put a bunch of leaves in this garden bed to use it as a natural mulch, basically. And then I realized I needed to clean them out a little bit because I didn't think about the fact that I needed to plant some bulbs. And then also, I really, really like poppies, and I want to do some poppy seeds. I've never direct sowed poppies this early, so I don't know if this is going to work, but the package says that they can be planted in the fall and they need direct contact with the soil. So I'm going to try. But yeah, I am a super inefficient and, as I'm always saying, chaotic gardener. I already have daffodils and some tulips in this area. I don't think the tulips that I've planted before are really going to come up. Tulips do not naturalize well. The daffodils have done pretty well, so I'm hoping that they will still come up this year. I realized I didn't buy more daffodils this year, but we'll see what they do this spring, and then maybe next fall I'll need to plant some more daffodils, but they've been giving me a pretty good show. Here I'm gonna put a little more of those spring ephemerals, probably under some of the perennials, and then I'm gonna plant some hyacinths as well as different tulips. So one of the tulip blends I have here is called Brigitte. These are pink, yellow, white, and wine red, and they are mid-spring bloomers. And I have a few different hyacinths here. I think I'm gonna there's this multicolored mix. They bloom early. And then I have these pink and white tulips that bloom a little bit late or later in the spring. So hoping to get a good amount of color throughout the spring. The hyacinths and the tulips, I think I want a little bit more towards the edge. Hopefully, I'm worried about the daffodils, but well, because I know I have some bulbs in this area. I don't want to disturb too many of the bulbs that I already have, but we do have to get some more in the ground, so. Now that the garden bed is deeper because I moved the boxwoods back, we definitely have more room for some of these bulbs. I'm going to try and scatter them a little bit more. I found in the past I tend to group them together a lot, but then when I see them in other people's gardens or just when I'm out, I think I tend to like it again in a more when it looks a little bit more like wildflowers, where they're scattered a bit more and not just lined along the edges. I see that around too, and I think it's beautiful, but I think I want to try and scatter them a little bit more. I'm gonna try. I have a bad habit of just kind of clumping them all together, but we'll see. So now that we have all of the bulbs tucked in and I have more of the soil exposed, I want to spread some poppy seeds. Now, all of these poppies are full sun to partial sun, so they'll mostly get partial sun here. And they don't want to be planted deeply. They practically just want to be pressed into the soil, raked in. So what I'm thinking is I'm just going to spread them haphazardly all over, rub them in a little bit, and then I'm going to cover them over with the wood chips. Probably on a different day, I'll put all the leaves back as well after I get them cut up. I need to pack up to get to work, to the day job pretty soon. But I want to get these poppies in. I'm so excited, guys. I love poppies. I really, really do. So the two types of poppy seeds that I'm going to spread out here are Hungarian bread seed. These make purple, blue, white, and yellow. And then the giant, which make pink and purple flowers. Ugh, this is probably not the best day to be doing this because it's so windy, but oh well. See how small these are? All right, let's just spread them out. There's no rhyme or reason to this at all. Just where there's some exposed soil, just gonna let them go. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for this bulb planting session. I still have more bulbs to plant, but I think the next time we do this, we're gonna be going back along the garden path towards the backyard. Definitely wanna get some bulbs in there. I'm excited for what the showing is gonna look like in the spring. It's a lot of work right now, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna pay off. We'll see what happens with the poppies. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So thanks for coming along with me, guys, as we battle the elements to get these bulbs in the ground. And as always, I hope you get a chance to get outside and enjoy your garden. Until next time, guys, bye.